Welcome to At the Vanguard. We're TB Vanguard, and our motto is for fans by fans. We showcase fans on the front line of the Team Breezy movement. This podcast is an open forum to discuss current topics as they relate to Chris Brown and his fan base.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming for our podcast. Welcome to At the Vanguard. Today is March 17th, 2018. We'll just go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Nikki.
I'm Paul.
I'm CM.
I'm Dee.
Jandy.
April.
Shay. I'm Shay.
Okay. All right, well, we got quite a few things to cover today, so we'll just go ahead and get started first with the Snapchat ad snafu. Is everybody familiar with what that was? What happened with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
CM, you were really hot and really hot about it. You want to start the
yeah. I wanted to see it. I was happy to see, him put any type of response because it still involved him as well. And I was just like, I liked her response and I liked his. And what I liked best was like what it did to Snapchat. Like, I think a lot of these corporations and stuff who try to use their names in any kind of negative light, but trying to make it look as if they're advocates for whatever the situation is, you have to pay a cost at some point. And I'm glad. I mean, Snapchat was already having, issues. And so I was glad to see that, see that happen. But I didn't find it, it wasn't, like I wasn't shocked because anytime Prince has something great happening in the moment, something always comes to attempt to, cast a shadow over that. And he had just dropped Freaky Friday, even though the ad ran the day before, and they were trying to do that, but still, it's like that's what the talk was until this shutdown came, and I liked it. So
yeah, that was ugly, and the whole thing is, when I saw Big Boy, I saw Big Boy's response before I saw the actual ad, because Big Boy's show actually had something called Would You Rather. So he was like, now I know we didn't release anything like this. This is crazy. How could this get past, quality control or whatever? And that's the question. You're a big corporation. This got past quality control. So clearly it was okayed by somebody, by several people, and they said, yep, we're going to go with this. That was not an accident.
Right.
No.
Not at all. It definitely was not an accident. They thought that they were going to get something good out of it.
I was actually shocked. I couldn't believe it when I read it. I was like, oh no. But coming from a corporation, I was like, that is so irresponsible and distasteful. Like, how could you do something like that? That's not funny. It's not funny, and I wish everybody would just leave that 9 years ago, because it's like really played out now. It's really played out. And I think because they're such big stars is the reason why nobody wants to let it go. It's because she's Rihanna and he's Chris Brown. If it was anybody else, and they're really popular, if it was anybody else, nobody would care. Like, it would be like a shadow a long time ago, because, they're not the only celebrities or celebrity that, had a domestic violence incident, but they're the only ones that, talked about over the years, over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons why people won't let that go. Like you said, there's been other celebrities that have had, the same issues, and not just one time, but over and over. But we all know why they don't let it go with Chris. But the other thing too, and of course I know one of the other topics tonight was Joyner, but like he said, like, really, is that like the only thing y'all can keep coming up with about him? Like, that is his only, that's the only thing they can keep coming up with to try to, every time he does something, every time something good, that's all they can come up with. And it's like you said, Tammy, let it go. Like, if y'all can't come up with something else, just stop, let it go. And it's just ridiculous. And I'm glad that Mark said something, and I wish him and Chris would sue somebody just one time, and I think that would shut everybody up if they would do that. But I don't know why they haven't at this point, but whatever.
April, what were you thinking?
Yes, sorry. My thoughts on that matter is I concur with what everyone else is saying. That was a really bad business move on Snapchat's part. I can't even imagine who's going to take the fall for that blunder. But like you said, I mean, I think people say that, organizations say that, they pay lip service to that, but we know good and well someone higher up approved that nonsense. Because it's been, it's been okay, and this is the first time they've actually experienced some backlash from it. I think this is the first example that I've seen where, because Rihanna's name was tied to it as well, that was a huge blunder on their part, and based on her response, it just kind of was a tumble down effect from there. So $800 million is quite a bit of money to lose. That's crazy. Yeah, that's serious. So they'll be lucky because you have so many apps out there competing for people's attention, especially celebrity stories. So yeah, that they screwed up pretty bad there. That's like, but I think it was, I think it was approved. It wasn't something that just got by. I believe it was approved because it's been being approved all along. So I just think that's more lip service and lies that they keep telling. They just tell us, but sorry, what happened there? But yeah, I just I'm glad his lawyer got on top of that. And what was his response? Because I didn't see anything that Chris responded to. All I saw was what Rihanna's response was and Mark's response.
Well, Mark's response was on behalf of Chris, so that's
okay.
Yeah, he's refrained from.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, but Chris had a response. Chris had a response underneath. Yeah, underneath the Stadium and Ball Alert, he put pray hands underneath, and I kind of think that was a response because he posted under what she said, which was supporting what she was saying. Right. But I thought the whole thing was,
and he did it on
twofold. Yeah, it was twofold because this is the first time she said anything about them bringing that up, first and foremost, publicly, at length, right? And then she brought in domestic violence, including men, first time. First time.
She did.
And so that includes Chris. And Chris put the prayer hands up. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is it was good to see, like Danny said, Mark have a formal response to it. And to say, this is unacceptable, what were they thinking? Because now I think with the moving to $800 million, everybody's going to be on notice because, okay, she's not going to sit there and not say nothing while we attack Chris or make fun of the situation. And if she says something, there's going to be a financial ramification. And with Mark and Chris saying something, it's not just nobody saying anything, but just Chris saying something. So but that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of Chris and Rihanna on the same page. Then they better stop that stuff. Point blank.
That's right. And the fact that Rihanna said something, just the fact that her saying something, him co-signing it, we're talking about a major corporation losing 5% of their stock. $1 billion is the number I've seen. $1 billion. That's major. Just from her, her response and then his co-sign. $1 billion. It just shows you who Chris and Rihanna are, if they ever, just use their voice to speak on anything, really. They are so influential. But I always feel like people try to downgrade Chris's influence because of that situation. They try to act like his word ain't worth anything, but it is. Anytime he speaks out, he gets a big reaction. Even if it's negative, it's like millions start to have something to say. And that alone tells you that's king status in my personal opinion. You don't, because it ain't like that for everybody. But for him, when he speaks, it
Trust
is.
and
When
believe.
it's for her.
Trust and believe. They were looking for a response from him. So when he did nothing but prayer hands, that said a lot right there. And he did it under her post. It's not like he created a separate post. So
And
that's
he
the
did
thing
it
they
twice.
worry about. If they both tag team, then you might as well wrap it up. Like Nikki said, hang it up flat screen, basically.
Right.
And then they had the nerve to use their pictures. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That was that's what I think really got under Rihanna's skin, is that you want to post them like they're characters for your advertisement.
Yep.
It was just like so distasteful. Like you're going to put her and his picture up there and with a silly joke about domestic violence. Like that was crazy. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
And the thing about it, though, is the second day, that the thing that they didn't plan on, Chris got elevated to being the victim of domestic violence by her saying men. And then it's like, okay, we're making a joke about Chris and Rihanna getting hit and violence with each one.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever seen where he got basically put on the same level as Rihanna as having been a victim of them saying, "Oh, punch him," and then her talking about domestic violence against men. Because anybody who was seeing her documentary, they knew the truth. So when she co-signed it by saying me too, that kind of said, okay, it's not just about women. And then, again, for her to even say anything, she never says anything. So I think it was because they had both the pictures. I think you guys are right.
What Shay? Oh, actually, somebody just came in. Who's the new caller?
It's me.
Hey, Sade.
Hello.
Hi, Sade.
Hey, Sade.
Finally, Sade. Finally.
We missed you so much last week. We practically had a eulogy. We were like, "Oh, Sade."
Yeah.
No, Sade had something to say.
Shay, did you want to say something about this whole situation?
Oh, what am I missing? I kind of came in late. I'm like 11 minutes late. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the about Snapchat and their little we call it a blunder for sake of argument.
Yeah, they tried it.
That's
I don't
exactly
even have a
what they did.
Snapchat, but even then, they tried it.
Right.
But someone told me that ad with them on it was up there for about 2 weeks. That it's just now going viral. But someone said they started about 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, like it would randomly pop up on I guess when you go to like the explore thing on Snapchat. I don't really know how Snapchat works because I don't have one, but I guess they have like an explore page there too, and they have like little ads and stuff. They said that they started like 2 weeks ago. They like, don't understand why it's just not going viral, but they started like 2 weeks ago. I guess it took the right person to post about it. Right.
Right. Wow.
Rather interesting, her response though. I was like, she don't usually say nothing about anything.
That's what we were saying.
Well, it's probably because of her picture. It's probably because of her picture. Like they posted her picture and.
But Tammy, if that's the case, when they post her beat up face all the time, then she should have been said something, no? Because it's the same people who are upset about Snapchat would be the first ones to throw a picture of her face on Twitter and Instagram, no? That's the
I don't know.
I don't know. I just side-eyeing people the way that they were going about it. Like, oh, Snapchat up in an uproar about Snapchat. Like, oh, that's so distasteful for her as a domestic violence victim. But then they be the same people that were complaining about Snapchat, be the same people that throw her picture up,
I agree with you, Sade.
While her, they don't think about her then when they're throwing the picture up to use that as,
they victimize her every time they do it.
Yes.
And then
exactly.
Someone say him putting the prayer hands was re-victimizing her, and that he was throwing himself in the situation where Snapchat didn't include him in it. He was like, "Yeah, he put me in the situation." I just.
And I think it was even like, for a lot of other people that's still talking about it, mostly her fans, that keep bringing that situation up. She's, because they fail to realize they think they're hurting Chris only, but you're not hurting Chris. She has to live through that over and over every time I say it. Like, I'm pretty sure she's just as sick of it as Chris is, and she has said that before. But, she doesn't want to come out and actually stop saying it, because it is a serious issue, and because of a lot of women that have gone through it, and men, like she said. But I think that, you know, a lot of her fans and other people realize, like, you know, let me leave that alone because, you know, it's like, it's old. Like, come on, are y'all going to do that for the rest of their lives? Like, it's going to be 10 years, a decade next year.
Yeah, I love the fact that she said this has nothing to do with my personal feelings because I don't have much of those. Meaning, I let go of the situation, shut up about it.
Right.
Like, that's what that part, I was like, okay, I see what she meant with that. You know, I was like, and then the fact that she includes the men, it was like, yeah, it was like, see, she includes men too. And I was like, that's rather interesting. Because people were like, oh, well, she said that because of Snapchat. I was like, well, she said something about Snapchat. But if that was the case, and she was, you know, here, the negative Nancy's, but she could have rebutted everything he said in the documentary. And then she includes that men can be victims as well. Hence what he said in the documentary. And then she included the men. And let it be clear that she's moved on from that. It's not about my personal feelings. I was like, tell girl. Mind your goddamn business and shut up, basically.
Well, Shay, did you get a chance to say what you wanted?
Oh, no. I just thought the ad, it was definitely cruel and insensitive, and I'm glad to see that they suffered big time from it. And I just, for me, I never really understand why people still to this day make jokes about that. I guess there are certain things that you just don't joke about, and domestic violence is one of them. So I'm very happy for both of their responses, and it's honestly time for people to just let it go, like, honestly.
I agree.
Good.
I mean, yeah, it's been almost 10 years. So next year, we'll make 10 years. At this point, I can't believe, would you still want somebody bringing up something 10 years from 2 years ago? Like, oh, 2 years ago when you did that?
I asked the question one time. I asked somebody, do you believe once A, always A? And you know, people were like, yeah, I do. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I say, why? Because when you call somebody a cheater, that's present tense. You know what I'm saying? That means that they are continually, habitually showing you the same repetition of action. If somebody did something once and then they stopped, then they are no longer what you're calling them, and you have no right to bound them to that thing where they can't move on with their life, or in your mind, you know, because that becomes, it's like a sickness, because you're the one who can't move on, and you're trying to handcuff them to your inability to move past, you know, whatever that action was that they did. I do not believe once say always. I always believe that people can change. Now you have some people who show you that they don't want to change or whatever. Right. But I'll say 8 times out of 10, most people change. They really do. It be those people around them that try to handcuff them to their past. And the only way they stay there is if they stay around those people who keep them handcuffed. Who every time something happened, they say, well, you know, remember I was there for you when you did such and such. Or remember, you know, you did this. And, you know, it's, so Chris is beyond that. Finally, he is out. He has, I believe in my heart, he done forgave everybody he needed to forgive, and he's finally forgiven himself. And he's received forgiveness, like really received it as well. So he's done. Like when you see him put praying hands, he don't have to still be mad, and he don't have to be looking for anything from her. It's like, you know, whatever it is that they got or whatever, he's over it. He's like, okay, I agree with this statement. Let's go to the next thing. But, you know, so many people, I just see so many people trying to hold him.
Someone kind of pointed out something. I was like, no, that is maybe it could be an odd coincidence. That someone said that after he like put the prayer hands underneath her post when the Ball Alert Shade Room posted it, I think he had reposted the singer rapper Black was like singing Mirage in the mirror, and he had put it in his story. And people was like trying to point that, like trying to connect, because you know we all feel like that song is shady towards her.
Right.
People always felt like Mirage was the I guess the response to Man Down. But I don't know. But I was like, maybe y'all thinking too much into it. You don't seem really like to overthink things. They think everything is so calculated. Well, it is calculated and you know strategically placed for Chris, but I wasn't thinking too much into it like that. I was like, stop trying to be messy.
I mean, he did post that. He put that up in there. And
Yeah.
I looked at it and I started laughing. That's what I did. I was like,
I was
boy,
like,
something else. That was what I was thinking. That he is something else. Because I think, for the most part, I think he was shocked that she said anything as well. I think he's just as shocked as anybody else. Because she don't say nothing. She just usually just go on. She internalized whatever she got going on, her wrongs, her rights, whatever it is. She just go on by the life. As far as like, not letting the world know whatever it is she's thinking about. But she snapped a little bit so she could say something. And that's what she
It's
did.
gotten worse though. It's gotten worse since like a couple. I mean, nothing was worse than when the incident happened, and a couple of years after it. But now it's resurgent again because it's being brought up so much, like on Twitter, on the blogs. That's where you hear. That's where most of the arguments about. Maybe it's because of the documentary, and now we know what happened or whatever. So now it's more people that's defending Chris and saying, no, that's not what happened. This
But
is what
that's what's
happened.
good about it. That's what's good about it. They up there saying she started it, or she was just as involved, and that's the good discussion of the documentary, is that they now have a more balanced view of his perspective of what happened, and they didn't have that before the documentary.
Okay, should we move on? Did everybody say
Yes, we have great things to talk about, happy things to talk about.
Oh, yes, I can't wait.
All right. Well, moving right along onto happier things. We all know that Freaky Friday came out. The video came out. There's tons of responses, mostly wonderful responses. There's some fake woke lash outs that I saw in regard to Kendall and Ed Sheeran from their fans or whatever you like to call them, but positive stuff first. So let's just go around and everybody give their opinions of the video. In song, if you saw it or heard it. Paul, you want to do round robin?
Yep, and we will start with. Oh, April's dropped out. Okay, so let's Shay. Start with Shay. Shay.
I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm April. I can.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm still on here. Maybe Shay dropped out.
Oh yeah, maybe she did. Okay,
Okay,
April.
so I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. I played it all day Thursday, all day on Friday. I was telling everybody Happy Freaky Friday. Everybody was like, what? At work.
Not at work.
Yeah, I was like, Happy Freaky Friday. They was like, what? I usually say Happy Friday, but everybody was like, Freaky Friday? Okay, yeah.
Like, okay. Whatever.
I know. Maybe I do. I probably was like, well, she got some this morning. She's happy.
All good in her neighborhood.
I know.
But I love it. I watched it. I played it. I sent it to people. I sent it to everybody. I uploaded it and sent it out. You got to see this new video. It's hilarious. It is such a neat little video. I love the beginning where he's asking, because we all do this at restaurants. We ask the waiter, what are they like? And the guy was like, yes.
Whatever, man.
Well, he was like, I didn't know English. I don't know what you're saying. That was funny, and I just love Chris' movement. You can see he downplayed his dance moves so that this little Dickie could do them at the end. So I liked that he did that. My only thing is, Austin was posting that little Dickie said he wrote all the lyrics for this song. Is that accurate?
Yes, it was a group, like a team that wrote it.
Yeah. And then he said once he's played the song to Chris, that Chris tweaked it a little bit for his own liking,
Cool.
and then added some parts. And
Yeah,
stuff.
because I doubt he was totally on.
That N-word
about
part,
the N-word. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no.
Okay, you can tell Chris has a lot of we can by now his true fans know his tone and how he creatively writes and even like the video, you can tell that was Chris Brown. It just was just full of light. It was lots of fun. It looks like he was having fun. It was such a great positive. I liked it. I love the words. It makes me laugh every time I watch it. It's really good.
So, Shay, what did you think about it?
The Freaky Friday video?
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
And then
I like Lil Dicky. Like he seems like a really cool guy. And he's a pretty okay rapper for the most part. My favorite part was where he was letting the N-word fly as Chris.
That was funny.
And then the ending was funny too. So I loved it. It was very fun and very creative.
Yeah. CM?
Well, finally, I have a video of this time that I am watching over and over. I'm playing the song. I Am Zoe. Oh my God, he had me crying, dancing to Freaky Friday on his page, and I just love the video. The video it's everything that Chris is. Funny, just creative, a genius, just a freaking genius. And teaming up with Lil Dicky is great. I've seen, so many different posts of people who were unlikely to say something, about a Chris Brown video, speaking about a Chris Brown video. It's like it's not even Lil Dicky's video. It's like people don't even remember that it's in the video. All I've seen is Chris Brown. Right. And even if anybody tried to say anything negative, like, what can you say negative about this video? Oh, it's just like Jordan Lucas said. So this video is great. I love the fact that it's number 1 on iTunes. I love the video. It was perfect timing and for the release of it, and he did the Chris Brown thing on it. So yeah, I love it.
Okay, D?
I'm here. I loved it. I had it on mute. Sorry about that. I loved it. And I like the fact that it had little images of royalty or who would be royalty running through the video. I thought that was because
that was funny. And then
but I like the fact that the lyrics of it though is just good.
Yeah.
What I love is, can I chime in on that? The lyrics. Lil Dicky said that Chris was the automatic choice for that song. He was the only choice he was thinking of. He said that he wanted a beat that sounded like a Chris Brown song, and he knew he was putting Chris Brown on the song. There was nobody else. That's why he went to DJ Mustard. It was like, okay, I need a Chris Brown sounding type of beat. I want this to sound like a Chris Brown song. The fact that he was the first and only option for the feature shows. I love him and Lil Dicky's relationship. I don't know what their friendship is outside of what I see when they have like celebrity basketball games, but it seems like they have a really good relationship. So that was cool. I like. Oh my God, I love that song. The video was amazing.
Jandy?
I just love that video. It made the whole entire song because the night before, the audio was up on YouTube for like maybe 20 or 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I heard it got leaked.
Yeah, it did. Because, like, I don't know, in our little chat group where there's like 5 or 6 of us, somebody put the link up and was like, it's already out. And we all listened to the song, and I was like, they cannot be serious. Like, this has got to be a joke. Like, somebody had to have, like, just put up a spoof of this song or something. They cannot be serious. Like, what in the world is this? But the next day when the video came out, I laughed the entire way through that video. I was like, okay, now that song is cute. Like, that made the whole song. The video did. But I just loved it because, I mean, Chris is just, you can just tell he's just having fun through the whole thing. And just all the love that he is finally getting and getting his credit. I mean, all of us, we already knew, but people that wouldn't have like recognized or whatever, they're finally saying stuff and positive things, and just how fast it's moving up the charts and everything. And I can't wait till the Billboard 100 comes out. When is it? Tuesday or Wednesday?
We might
That's
have
Tuesday.
we might have a number one coming, girlies. It's been over.
I know.
But you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait another week though, because we only have Thursday, Friday. So I think
that's
once
right.
you get a full week of streams, it won't be this week, but the following reporting week.
Right.
Because I'm happy for him, because this has been a long time coming, and this is 2 videos in a row now that are they're different from what everybody, like, it's almost like we've gone back to, like, and I'm gonna tell my age here probably, when MTV first came out, like when videos first came out, like they were they were just they were creative, they were funny, whatever. And over the years it's just gotten to where everybody does a video in the club with the girls half naked and popping bottles and throwing money and all that. It's just like everybody's video is that anymore. But now he's put out 2 that are just completely different and just showing his whole creative genius. And I just love it. Love it, love it.
All right, Nikki?
I really enjoyed the video. I finally watched it. Well, I watched it the day it came out, but I was seeing all the different tweets of famous people, celebrities liking the video and talking about it. And actually, initially, I didn't even know it had came out that day. I heard the song on the radio, like the same day the video dropped. And I was like, oh, who's Little Dicky? And I was listening, like, that's Chris. I was like, what is he talking about? I'm Chris. I'm like, what is this? So then I realized, then I realized that the tweet or the Instagram that I hadn't looked at earlier that Chris was talking about, woke up as Little Dicky Freaky Friday, whatever he initially tweeted in the middle of the night, I made the correlation. I was like, okay, I have to watch this. So I watched it, and I just enjoyed it. And my favorite part really was when he was like, I wonder if I can say the N-word. And then he just kept saying it, and I laughed so hard because I thought about, the movie White Girls and the characters and how they're rapping in the song and doing, you guys, we can't say the N-word. And like, no one's around. It is, it's just this slapstick humor. So I just found that part hilarious. But I also liked Royalty running around in the videos of Royalty saying, that's gotta be me, all excited because she saw herself in her father's video. So I enjoyed it.
Okay, Tammy?
I really enjoyed the video. It's like it's comical, and what I really loved about it was Chris smiling throughout the whole video. We haven't seen that smile like in a lot of his videos as much, and I think that's like a world of difference. Like when he smiles, he could just light up a room, and the excitement from just him smiling. Like every time I see him smile in that video, I just bust out laughing because it's just like it's just good to see, and it brings a different energy when he's smiling, because when Chris is not smiling, because his eyebrows, he can look really mean. So when he's smiling, it's just like a whole total look, and then the dancing and everything, and then the concept of changing bodies with someone else. It was just really funny. Chris being Little Dicky and Little Dicky being Chris, and Royalty running through, and then her reaction to it when she seen the little girl run by. So it was great. I really enjoyed it. I watched it several times. So yeah, really good. Good idea and good execution by Chris and Little Dicky.
Well, I love the video too, and I not only watched the video, I watched the reaction videos, which were really funny. The reaction videos, which is really one thing. We're talking about this whole thing of Kendall Jenner getting backlash, but the thing is, women, all the women who watched it universally felt creepy about it, but the men all said, yeah, and then this is every race, creed, and color. They were like, yeah, that's pretty much the first thing I would do. And so, yeah, it's too bad they're getting, but it's really because it's like they're missing the point that it's supposed to be from the point of view of a guy. It's a guy that's jumped into her body. It's not her. It's a guy that's jumped into her body. It's like they totally missed that somehow. But it was hilarious.
Yeah, it went over their heads.
Yeah, it went over their heads. Yeah,
they want to be fake offended.
Yeah, they want to be fake
You know what
offended.
You know what else I
Last
love in
week
the
we had
song?
fake woke.
Right,
a
a
fake
fake
offended.
outrage. I was looking for. I didn't notice it until I listened to the song a couple more times. That the end of the song when he was like, if you hurt me, you're only hurting yourself. And he's like, wait, but I love myself. He's like, that's the key. Now we're switching back.
Yeah.
It's basically the key is to be happy with yourself. And
Right.
like, Chris feels like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders because he's always cool now. So he would like to be somebody else just not to get that, judgment all the time. And it's like, well, okay, people are going to talk about you. You're Chris Brown and you have this controversial past, but love yourself. And it's like,
Right.
oh, that's so sweet. And then once they realize that you have you are, they switch back into their bodies. I was like, that's so cute. Oh my God.
Well, Chris switched back into his body, but we saw after the dance sequence, what's his name? Lil Dicky tried to get back, and Chris jerked his hands off his head and ran away from him. So then next thing you know, he's in Ed Sheeran.
He ran to Ed Sheeran. Yeah, he was like, and I love that he was like, I'm in Ed Sheeran's body is way less than being Chris Brown. It's way less cooler than being Chris Brown. I was like, that's so funny.
And then next thing you know, he's in DJ Khaled, and then DJ Khaled was all loud. Oh my God, that was so funny.
He's like, why am I yelling? He's like, why am I yelling? I'm like, DJ Khaled, this is what we always ask you. Why are you always yelling? Yeah, this is the question that we always ask. Why are you always yelling, DJ Khaled?
But you know what I said about him jumping in
I like
Kendall?
Kendall Jenner's part. She sounds so cute.
But my whole thing I think as soon as she got her period, I think his ass would have been ready to get out of that body. Like to get some cramps. Get some cramps.
You know what else I love?
Party
you know what
over.
else I love about Freaky Friday? What I love about Freaky Friday? The chorus is, I woke up in Chris Brown's body. The chorus is, I woke up in Chris Brown's body. So now, even if you hate him, you have to think that. I woke up in Chris Brown's body.
Yeah.
I
love it.
That is one of the best.
Even if you hate him, I woke up in Chris Brown's body.
But you know,
it's just when you look at all of the videos, it's just like so, different from one another.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Stranger Things, you see a different Chris.
Oh, yeah.
You look at Tempo, a different Chris. Freaky Friday, a different Chris.
I can't wait to see this video for this "I Don't Die" song he has with Joyner.
Yeah.
Me
so.
Yeah, I like
one of the little,
not
one other thing, but one other little thing about Freaky Friday though, the thing that triggered. Remember when Chris finally was like wanting to get out of Lil Dicky's body, it wasn't being broke or any of that kind of stuff. It was when he's like, oh, I hope my daughter's in school. Then it was like, oh, I got to get my body back. It was like it's royalty that made him want to get back in his body. But his acting was on point all through.
Like, is my daughter at school? Oh my God!
Like it was like, oh, I got fine.
Yeah, he was concerned for her. Was like, I gotta get back.
Right.
Who I was.
Otherwise, he was just like,
I love that. I love how they had the fake the TMZ, and then it was like Chris Brown's running around the street saying, "I'm Chris Brown."
I'm Chris Brown. When I saw that, I screamed. I was like, that is so funny. Because, of course, he was just so thrilled with being in that. I was like, I'm Chris Brown. I was like, I'm Chris Brown. Oh, that was too funny. That was really funny. That was a great touch. There were lots of little tiny, fine touches that made the composition of it, so rich. And that was a classic right there, that I'm Chris Brown. Now, speaking of TMZ, I'll fix that, but they actually reviewed it, and they were positive. Now, if you get a chance, you look at the podcast.
You got
crew.
the clip, Paula?
Yes, I put it in the podcast crew.
Y'all need to see. You talk about a turnabout.
Yes,
you guys need to check it out because we don't give him any views, but this one was a surprise.
But yeah, it's in there. If you look in the podcast crew, DM.
What Harvey had something to say?
Yes.
Yeah, you won't even believe the words coming out of his mouth. Yes. Honestly, you will not believe it. All I can say is just look at it because we don't want to tell you it. Just look at it and you will be surprised, okay? We got something else though. We got something else on the video though, I forgot to say. We were talking about how well it was, the whole promo of the song in the video.
Oh, yeah.
And we found out, Paula, who we found out was behind it. Tell them.
Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
Oh
I don't know if you're
wow.
familiar with
But
Scooter
people were
Braun.
saying RCA need to get a hint. He
Yes.
went full board, huh, fella?
He
No,
put
maybe
it on.
Chris just needs
It's in
to.
Times Square. New Yorkers. I know Kitty Cat said she was gonna go downtown and
Yeah, I
take
saw
some
that.
pictures of it. So yes, then it's in Times Square, which is major. I mean, and TMZ endorsed it. Billboard, who we still, no matter what, we don't acknowledge them, but but they endorsed it. I mean, across the board. But Scooter Braun is a big name, so yeah, he's opened some doors and changed some minds. Even if they didn't really change their mind, they just have to anyway because he said.
Well,
so.
I hope you know we're about to see. Scooter's going to make sure that this song gets performed a lot. That may be the reason why I'm going to be seeing Chris on late night soon. Because you know this is going to chart really well. This is going to chart really, really well. I mean, it's the number one song and video on iTunes right now. It's in the top 10 on Apple Music, the top 15 on Spotify. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like,
I know. But we got to keep in mind though that that's his feature, and that's wonderful. It's a feature though, so we can't can't let him off the tempo.
I mean, Paula, that's Chris's song.
Yeah, he's taking over. He's taking over. But I'm just saying we can't forget about tempo. We can't forget about tempo and Heartbreak on Food.
Of course not.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, he totally took
Right.
over.
This song actually shot the album on Heartbreak on Full back up on iTunes and on Apple Music. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know it was on the Hot 200. It's moved into the Hot 200 again.
Yeah. And I think the album has jumped back in the top 50 on Apple Music, and it was like 79 the other day.
Wow.
Yeah. Now people are like, this is a great Chris Brown song. Let me listen to his album and see what I've been missing out on. Oh, you've been missing out on a lot. Yes.
Right.
Come give us those streams. Come on, we're trying to go double platinum.
Exactly. Does anybody have a chance to look at the video?
I'm just going to ask, did anybody see the video of Snoop in the Black Pyramid outfit that he paid for by himself?
Yeah, it's on our Instagram.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it.
I know. That's why I saw it. It's on our page, but I don't know if they saw it, Paula.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that, go to our Instagram page and take a look at that. That is hilarious.
I retweeted it too because it was on my timeline on Twitter. I retweeted it, so it's there too.
Okay, yeah.
If somebody doesn't
So
have
funny. When he said, "You give me some of that, I might give you a little bit of this." He's just a mess. I love Snoop. Just a mess.
And we got almost 1,000 views on that. I thought that was too funny. I was like, oh my god.
And rightfully so. I didn't realize it was long too. Like he was really enjoying himself in that.
Well, he was trying to show, model. He's like, yeah, I could be a model for you. I could be model for your line. He said, look good on me too. It look good on him.
He did. And wanted everybody to know he paid for it with his own money.
Right.
That I bought with my that I bought myself. Now I bought it. Now send me some more. Basically.
Right. So send me some, man, nephew.
All right, send me something now.
I bet you gonna have a care package too.
Oh yeah.
And Brat stay in Black Pyramid. That's all she wear.
Yeah.
She like me. That's all the Brat have on is Black Pyramid.
You know who else? There's someone I follow on Instagram, and she, one of those, not a natural hair guru, but she's involved in that. And her trainer had on a Black Pyramid shirt too. And you know it because it's got a big Black Pyramid, in the center of the shirt. And I was like, wow, like women wear it too, but I love seeing men, who are athletic and whatever, rocking his gear as well.
I know a lot of the girls complain because I wouldn't have this problem, but a lot of girls were complaining because they couldn't get a size. They couldn't get any smalls. Because the girls
He
are
don't never have enough of anything. He
No,
never
you gotta-
has enough of anything. Like
You
by
have
the
to catch
time
that
it's
stuff.
posted-
They post it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
by the time it's posted, because
It's
I
gone.
stay on it. I got emails come to my phone, everything. I get over
Yeah.
there, the mediums are gone. Like boom, they're out. You can forget it. No mediums. But
Yeah,
I
the
did.
mediums are
I
all
did
sell
just
the
get.
access.
Yeah, but I did just get like 3 dope tracksuits. So y'all can be looking out for that because I will be mounting.
Got to the point. If it's a sweatshirt or a shirt, I don't care. If it's whatever size they got on there, I get it. I don't care if it's being a dress.
Did you, speaking of clothes, speaking of clothes, did you guys see that the yellow and black track pants that he had on the Freaky Friday video, they were in such high demand that they sold out on the website, that the website had to restock it, and now to get a discount, they gave us Team Breezy code. Yeah. They get a discount on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they was gone too. I was like, man, I'm so upset.
And those are not even Black Pyramid track pants, they're some other brand.
Oh my God, they got the jacket back. Whoa.
Okay. Were you guys able to watch the video, Paula? Were you trying to get commentary?
Yeah, just see what y'all thought about it. Did y'all get to watch
share
the
what they
video?
thought about?
I can't see the video. When I clicked the link, the only video it gave me was the Freaky Friday video.
Yeah, there's no actual video, it's just the article and then the Freaky Friday video.
Okay, yeah, I read the article.
Okay, it looks like they took their video down.
Oh,
Let me see if I can find it, and then we'll get it and put it back out there. Because I mean, Harvey saying he over the moon with the video. The best thing he ever saw. Oh, Chris is so happy. This is the turning point, and all this. It's amazing, huh, Paula?
When God makes your enemy your footstool.
Right.
That's what happened.
I think it is a turning point, and I think that's what we've been missing, that smile.
Yeah.
You know, Chris used to smile all the time. He used to smile all the time, and he has such a beautiful smile.
He does, yeah. He really does.
But
I hope
it
we
was
see
also
that
the
smile
acting. It was
more.
the acting, because that's how happy that this little nobody guy was to be in Chris Brown's body. He really portrayed that, like when he was so happy when he looked down at his son and pulled his pants down in the street.
Yeah.
Like some little kid. Look at my stuff. Take a picture. Oh my God, that was so funny.
I have to go back and watch it again and see all the stuff I missed.
I've watched it so many times, and also watching just the fun of watching the reviews too. That was fun.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube, there are a lot of big YouTubers who are reacting to the video, and
those are a hoot.
It's just getting rave reviews everywhere though. But this is Chris Brown. Like, this is who he is. So
Yeah, Chris Brown acting out through the whole video, singing the song, right?
Right.
And the song is about him.
I know. That's the fun part.
And the Stranger Things is the same way. Like, I want to see Stranger Things do big things as well, because he's acting in that video. It's so 90s. Most of these videos at the end of the day are so 90s to me. Like, the concept of actual acting in a video.
Yeah.
And, like, it has a story, like a real storyline. Like, I love it. That's what I love. I don't need to go look up symbols or try to figure out what's going on in the video or be some type of videologist that know what he's trying to portray. It's just all right in the open of whatever it is, it goes with the lyrics. Thank you.
Yes. But the fact that they used a movie, that helped, to have a concept of a movie. I guess I don't know if some of you younger people. I grew up on the one with Haley Mills from the 60s. That's how old I am. And then there was another one with Lindsay Lohan. But they were all Disney. But they both were Disney movies. But I'm just saying the one I grew up on was much older.
It was much better too.
What was it? That's the only one I know.
The Parent Trap. Yeah. I like Haley Mills.
Yeah, I grew up on her.
So I think the one thing though we had on there, but we might have kind of touched on it, was the charts. Didn't we kind of talk about?
Yeah, we did talk about the charts. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And Sade and Tammy gave us some good updates, so that was great. So they're all doing well. It's even the features, the main songs, because Tammy, didn't Stranger Things and Tempo move up?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen Stranger Things on the radio chart yet, but Tempo is now at 27. I believe it'll be 26 or 25 tomorrow. From the chart that I look at, because I know CM put up a chart and it was already at 26, right, CM? But I think that was earlier this week. So now he has I'm trying to how many or who knows how many Billboard entries he has at this point. I think it's 89 now, right? 89 Billboard entries.
He has 89.
87.
Yeah, he got
89.
89.
So I guess Freaky Friday would be 90. You know, I know that's going to enter next week.
I think we said all we can say enough,
at least for now, on a bunch of things. So thank you, everybody, for calling in for our podcast today. Great discussion. And we will see you all. Well, when are we going to do it? Next week, Monday?
The week after next Monday. Yeah, the week after next Monday.
The week after.
We'll be back on schedule.
Okay.
Unless something exciting happens.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So we'll look forward to chatting to you all then. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode, and we hope you'll join us again at the Vanguard.